Hey, what is up, guys? Bluntguts here. This is a Watcher of Realms video. Thanks so much for tuning into my channel. I really appreciate it. I have got Lubu up on the screen right now. He is the Bond skill hero for Diaochan, the exclusive hero that will be coming on Valentine's Day, and it looks like this guy is likely going to be on an ancient banner alongside Diaochan. So we'll have to see how that goes. I wonder which lord he's going to be paired with, but he is a chaotic northerner, which is why I do believe he will be an ancient exclusive hero. I think the only non-ancient exclusive chaotic heroes, legendaries anyway, are Valeria and Cerberus, so I think it's unlikely that he is going to be pullable from normal summons, but we'll have to wait and see on that. As far as his kit is concerned, he is a ground-based AoE fighter. He does not hit air units based on what I have seen, even during the ultimates, so get that out of your mind right away. He does have a 3-tile attack range at a 0. At a 1, he does get an extra tile, so kind of similar to Valkyra and Eris. He is going to have a 4-tile in a line directly in front of him, attack range. Let's go take a look at his basic attributes and we can talk about that. So as I mentioned, he does have a 3-tile attack range, 3 tiles directly in front of him. We'll get that to 4 tiles when he does get to his A1. As far as his HP and his attack, they are both kind of middle of the road, honestly. His HP is just a touch under 20,000, and his base attack is 5,418. That's, just not as good as what we've seen, especially since he is a physical damage dealer. You would think that it would be higher. Ardea, who's kind of similar to him, has almost 8,000 attack. I mean, she's very unique, don't get me wrong, but most of the new fighters, in particular, the physical damage dealing fighters that have come out in the last 6 months or so, have had 6,500 or higher attack. I guess he's getting handicapped a little bit here because he's an AoE damage dealer, but again, that's not something they do to Ardea, who seems to be his closest comp as far as I can see, because I think all of the other heroes that are kind of structured like this are magic damage dealers aside from Ardea. So I think she is really the one that we want to be comparing him to, and I don't think he's going to live up to that comp, unfortunately, based on what I've seen, but, I will reserve judgment. His cost is at 20. It does get reduced with an awakening, so we'll go down to 18 eventually. 2.6 second attack interval, 100 attack speed, 150% crit damage base, so nothing out of the ordinary there. That is all very, very standard for fighters. Rage regen, auto basic, and attack all look, nothing out of whack there. There's nothing crazy, so I'm not even going to touch on those. But yeah, so that is kind of what we're starting from. Let's go take a look at his skills. All right, I am going to be running GR121 in the background as we do this. And now, one thing I do want to show you, his deployment animation, pretty damn awesome. Look at that like circle thing appearing on the ground, and he's got this kind of like, I don't know, red lightning thing going on his weapon, which is kind of cool. Very cool looking hero. I'm not overly impressed with his damages. Let's start off talking about his talent. So, every 12 seconds, the next basic attack consumes 15% of his current HP. It's important to note that his current HP, so it's not going to reduce him all the way to 0. It's not a flat 15%. Just 15% of whatever his remaining HP is. He will then gain Chaos Strike, deals 320% AoE damage to up to 10 enemies in a large area ahead. So, extra damage. What we can say, you can see it on the screen when he does activate it. There, it just went right there. He does expand the range to include the lanes to the right and to the left of his basic attack range, which is nice. He gets some extra range on that. Going back to the talent here, when deployed, he immediately enters a deep descent and gains enhancement effects of the ultimate Dark Star, but cannot use the ultimate during this state. So I'm going to throw up on the screen here, deep descent, 15-second duration. Now, one thing I will note, this duration seems to be specific to his deployment state. Going through his kit, this deep descent skill has various durations in different spots. I've seen 15-second duration, I've seen 25-second duration, I've also seen a 35-second duration. This one that's on the screen right now was pulled from the talent. So that is the one that I will be using when I do pull this up, but just be aware that it may be 25 or 35 seconds at different points. There's something else that in his kit that does modify the duration as well. So anyway, a lot of build up there, but in any case, enters a state with independent HP and starts with 65% HP. When Chaos Strike is triggered, inflicts 50% slow for 3 seconds. When receiving fatal damage in this state, exits the state and restores 50% HP. So basically, he is going to have a separate health bar. He's going to start at 65% HP. When this state is triggered, he is going to trigger a 50% slow on Chaos Strike for 3 seconds. And then on top of that, when he does take fatal damage in this state, he's going to revert to his normal state, and he's going to restore 50% HP. So you'll basically be back to square one with 50% HP, which is not a bad spot to be for a Chaos unit that does seem to get benefits from having lower HP. All right, let's talk about his basic attack here. Deals 120% AoE damage to up to 5 enemies. The 5 enemies does seem a little bit low. I think that our Dea can hit 7 enemies with her basic attack, if I'm not mistaken. You know, not bad, but it's very, you know, it's bland. 120% damage is pretty standard for nearly every basic attack in the game. 3-tile range on it, 4-tile range at a 1. Let's go take a look at his ultimate. So, the ultimate, Dark Star, manual ultimate, 800 rage cost, 400 initial rage, 25-second duration, immediately enters Deep Descent. So, that Deep Descent, that's the 25-second one, just FYI. Upon reaching maximum power, immediately enters Deep Descent. That's the 35-second one. So I guess the 35-second one is when you've stacked up multiple ultimates. You can see on the screen right now, he does have that yellow rage bar, which does mean that he is able to stack up his ultimate past that initial one. He's also going to gain enhancement effects, increases his own attack by 40%, and reduces the trigger interval of Chaos Strike by an extra 3 seconds. So maybe that is why my damage was so low. If I was waiting until he had double ultimate, maybe his damage is going to be much better here. Let's see. Yeah, it does look like he's doing a lot more damage now. So I guess that's kind of the trick here. You need to stack up double ultimates. The Chaos Strike is going to do a lot more damage in that case. It basically means he's got a 1600 rage cost ultimate, which I don't know. I don't love. You know, it is what it is, but it's kind of limiting. All right, his first passive here. Let's get him on the screen so we can see him at least. When not in Deep Descent, gains 1.5% rage. When attacking enemies, for every 20% max HP of damage taken, gains 2% rage. Both effects double when current HP drops below 50%. So he's going to get 3% rage when below 50% HP. Not too bad. You know, cool, rage gain. He's going to need it because he needs to get to 1600 rage for every single ultimate, it seems like, to do decent damage. So that is necessary. He needs solid rage regen. So it is good to see that they've kind of kitted him out appropriately. Of course, they could have literally just given him the same ultimate and not made it stack up to 2 times. But, you know, hey, why make it simple? So his next passive, Power Hungry. When HP is below 65%, increases damage by 30%, so kind of basic chaos stuff. For each ally within 2 tiles with HP below 65%, increases damage by 10%, up to 30%. So if you have 3 allies below 65% HP within 2 tiles, he is going to get an extra 30% damage increase on top of that, which is nice. When the hero or an ally's HP drops below 65% for the first time, he gains 30% rage. So that, I mean, that's cool. He's going to need it again because he needs to get up to full yellow bar rage in order to do good damage. So he needs all of the rage regen mechanics that he can possibly get in order to function well. So that is good to see. All right, let's talk about his bond skill, which is what you will get if you get the hero Diaochan from the limited banner that should be coming on Valentine's Day. So increases the duration of Deep Descent and enhance state from his ultimate Dark Star gained upon deployment by 15 seconds. Basically, you're going to get another 15 seconds on top of this. I don't know if Moonton has incorporated this 15 seconds into the tooltips. I'm not sure exactly what's going on with that. I have never had him without having Diaochan on my account on the test server, so it's hard to say one way or the other whether or not these increases are included in the numbers that I have been giving you or not. So, you know, your guess is as good as mine. But ultimately, it should be giving you another 15 seconds on this Deep Descent state, which is nice to see. That does seem to be a time when he is going to be doing increased damage and gives him some special skills, and is going to enhance his Chaos Strike, give him more durability, that kind of thing. He goes down. Let's go talk about his awakenings. All right, so his A1, I have already mentioned it, but basically it does give him extra 1-tile attack range here. It's also going to increase his damage by 20% against units that are not blocked. So that is nice to see. The A2, no attack increase here. Kind of odd. -2 cost on the A2. Seems kind of strange. It feels like they may have done this by accident, but maybe I'm wrong about that. In any case, -2 cost on the A2 is going to bring him down to 18 cost, which is nice. The A3 increases Chaos Strike damage multiplier by 40%, and I like that they said multiplier here, because to me, that seems to imply that this is going to go up to 360% AoE damage, rather than us trying to decide whether or not this is going to increase the entire thing by 40%. That's my guess. I don't know. I guess I could awaken him and find out, but assuming the tooltip updates, I don't know. It wouldn't be a Blunt Guts video if he wasn't bitching about Moonton's UI and tooltips. So in any case, it's also going to execute enemies below 15% HP, which is kind of cool. And then elite monsters and bosses are excluded, so you're not going to be executing any elites or bosses with that. But 15% HP threshold on execute adds a different element to his kit, which is pretty cool. Oftentimes in AoE damage, this kind of execute mechanic is really nice. So that will be fun. Hopefully he does not go the way of Uridin, who's the other fighter that does have that. Vierna's pretty solid, though. The A4 plus 300 attack, so I feel like maybe they flip-flopped the A2 and the A4 by accident or something. It seems strange that plus 300 attack is on the A4. I would certainly prefer to get the 300 attack on the A2. Again, that's actually a pretty significant power increase. So the cost one, I really could not care less about. So I wish they would flop those back, but, you know, better one is on the A4, so I guess there is that. And the A5, when under Deep Descent and Enhanced State, taking fatal damage will not instantly end these states. Instead, becomes immune to that damage and reduces the duration of Deep Descent and Enhanced State by 5 seconds. So that's interesting. Basically, it means that he's not going to get knocked back into his normal state when he does take fatal damage. It does say he becomes immune to that damage. I think what will need to be tested here is whether or not this 5-second duration reduction is per hit. So for example, if he takes one fatal hit, it's going to reduce it by 5 seconds. He's not going to die, obviously, but he's going to get the duration of the state reduced. If he takes another hit of fatal damage, is it going to reduce it by another 5 seconds? Or does he basically get immunity for the duration of that state? I can't imagine it's the latter, but, you know, if it is, it's very powerful. So there you guys have it. You know, look, I think this is a cool hero. I just don't know whether or not he's going to be that great in a lot of different areas. I think probably in Arena, he's probably going to be quite good. I think any place where you can control his ultimate usage, so he's not kind of on autopilot. Because based on what I have seen, just, again, very preliminary testing, but you are going to need to stack up his ultimate twice to get decent damage out of him. You're also probably going to need to bring a Chaos Lord. You know, Awakenings seem like they might be big for him as well. But I don't think that he's going to be somebody that you are going to want to bring into GVG necessarily, because he is going to likely end up using his ultimate before it stacks up to 2. And from what I've seen, that initial ultimate, that just base 100% rage versus 200% rage, is not all that compelling. It's just the damage is not all that great. So in any case, guys, yeah, I hope that you enjoyed my little intro to Lubu here. I will be doing some more testing. I'm going to be leaving, obviously, that, you know, I don't really enjoy going and testing these heroes and all the different content and whatnot. I'll leave that to other people. But I will be doing some damage testing on him to just kind of compare him to some of the other heroes that do kind of match his skill set. I'm talking about Ardea, Valkyria, maybe Eris, something along those lines. We can get an idea of how he stacks up damage-wise against them at all different awakening levels. And yeah, we'll see. We will see. We will see. But I will say, initially, I'm not blown away, and I was hoping to be. I was hoping he was going to be somebody that was really going to impress me. I think that, you know, obviously it's way too early for me to making any kind of determination on that, on his quality. I needed to be doing more testing, but I did want to just kind of throw that out there to set expectations. I don't know that this is going to be somebody that you really, like, need to have, but we shall see. So thank you so much for tuning in. I do appreciate it. Please do toss me a thumbs up, like the video, toss me a subscription. It would really help me out. It does make a gigantic difference, and I would certainly appreciate it. Certainly make my day, and it's a free way you can support my channel. So thank you in advance if that is something that you can do. But otherwise, good luck to you. I will catch you all next time.